Hey guys, Clint Darden here with ClintDarden.com, EliteFTS.com, and of course the house of biceps. I've had a lot of questions coming in lately asking about the car deadlift and if I had any tips and tricks. A lot of guys are finding that the car deadlift is at least making kind of a mainstay in strongman these days. And people are having some issues with it because they don't have one to train with. You know, the first thing I can tell you is if you're going to enter a contest that has the car deadlift in it, go train with the people who are running the contest. That's the first thing you need to think about doing. A lot of people want to say, well, I need to build a car deadlift apparatus, I can train it, blah, 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 blah. Every car deadlift apparatus is going to be different. Every car is going to feel different. Every show is going to feel different. So you know, you can build an apparatus, you can set it up, you can train it, you can get freakishly strong at it. But as sure as tomorrow is Monday, you know, you're going to show up at the contest and everything's going to feel completely different than the way you've trained it. So you know, the only thing you can do is just get strong. And if you have any opportunity, go train with the people who are holding the contest. Get your hands on the actual implements. It's worth the time, the money, the effort. You're going to meet the heck, you know, some great people in the process. So this is my apparatus. It's not the best, but it gets the job done. It's been running for about 10 years now. This one is extremely light at the pickup because it does have some bend, some flex into it, and you can see that the distance between the wheels on the car and the handles is kind of far apart. A lot of contests now don't have it. This was actually designed to be able to pick up a couple of old Cadillacs as well as my old Suburban. So we had to have a long distance between where the back wheels went and where the handles were. Of course, whenever I'm here, I'm training with my little car. I don't have any issues at all. So anyway, just a few tips and tricks. You know, this one is really light off the ground and it gets insanely heavy as you start to pick it up. So, you know, a lot of implements are going to be that way. The other flip side of the coin is it's going to be extremely heavy to get it started, and then it's going to be lighter as you pick it up. And that tends to be what we're seeing at most contests. It's extremely hard at the pickup, and then it gets extremely light, or at least lighter, easier as the rep goes along. If you're looking for a training cycle on what you should do for the car deadlift, you know, really, I think you could do any contest. If you're specifically training for a contest, doing the car deadlift 3 times before the show is absolutely more than enough. You need to do it once just to get used to how insane it's going to feel, whether it's going to feel heavy from the floor, heavy from the top. You need to get it in your hands. You need to understand what that feeling's like at the top, that your head's about to explode. And you know, this is one of those events that absolutely does that on. You don't get that with many other events at all. It's a whole different feeling. You need to go back another time and you need to beat that. You know, whatever the weight, the reps, whatever, do a couple of sets, and you need to better yourself. And the third time, just for technique work, you know, get on there to where it just feels natural. You can make some changes and make things work for you. So let me adjust the camera a little bit, and let me give you an idea of how to set up for the car deadlift. Now, on the car deadlift, your foot position, your body position, your shoulder position, they're all absolutely key. There are a lot of guys that get into some kind of tips and tricks, and if I'm going to put my hand off the back, or my pinky's going to hang off, or if I'm facing the other direction, my pointer finger's going to hang off the end, or whatever. You know, if you're one of those guys who are looking for tips and tricks, or you've got some sort of key secret that involves a finger twist in a certain direction, then you just need to worry about just getting stronger, first and foremost. The main thing is, if you are facing the car, that you lean into the car. Okay, you obviously don't want to be stepped too far forward so your hands are behind you. You don't want to be too far back so your hands are in front of you. But you want to get just a normal stance. I might actually step in so that my hands are in line with my hips. They might be just a little bit back. I would have to play with it and see. But the main thing is, when I lift, I do not stand up. Like a deadlift where you stand back, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be similar to the farmer's walk. When you pick up the farmers, you never stand up with the farmers and stand upright with a huge arch and then take off walking. The farmers are always done as you're standing up. You start walking and you start your movement and then let it carry you through. It's the same thing with the car deadlift. Once you get your grip, this is nice and hot. Once you get your grip on the pickup, the only thing that moves is your hips. It's the only thing is your hips popping in. So you want your head up, your chest up and going forward, and your hips pop in. From here, the only thing that moves is hips go in. Boom. Now I can make a deadlift and make this big range of motion here. Or I can make it, nothing moves with the hips. And that's all it is. Hips stick in. Now I'm going to lean into it, and the hips come in. And that's all it is. Now obviously with a car on there, it is going to be much heavier. It's going to stick me in position. But you will feel the difference between deadlifting it and just popping your hips into it. I call it screwing the bar. When you stand up, all it is, pop, stick your knees forward and pop your hips. That's all it is. Nothing moves but the hips. And I can't stress that enough. You don't stand up with it. You pop your hips into it. Shoulders going forward. Lean, lean, lean. Now on the car deadlift, if you're facing the opposite direction of the car, it's the exact same principle. You will have to play with your foot position. See if you want to be closer or farther away. Nothing changes. You take your grip, and it's going to be like a deadlift. The hips are going to pop, and your shoulders are going to go back. So it is a little bit different. That's all it is. You can play with it. I like to have my heels in direct line with my hands, with about my pinky or maybe just a ½ inch behind my pinky, closer to the car. Driving my heels in the floor. It is a little more quad because you are pushing the other direction. Some front squats might help, I don't know. Heaven forbid leg press or maybe even hack squats, but to be honest, if you're getting that desperate with the car deadlift, your time is probably much better spent just doing some regular training, regular deadlifts, and then using this for technique work. So once again, don't forget, it's not a deadlift, it's a hip push. It's a hip thrust. Screw the bar, either one direction or the other. Your shoulders always lean in the direction of the car, no matter what. Now, unless you're at a contest where they're testing your grip on the car deadlift, you definitely want to wear straps. These are 20-24 inches, not really for sure. It's poly on one side, cotton on the other. I've had these for a long time. They're absolutely wonderful, although I almost never train with straps. Just to give you an idea on how to set up your straps, sometimes it helps to have somebody working with you and helping you. I like to do my left one first because I can set up my right one by myself a little bit better. I take my grip. It goes, actually I'm going to grip from here. It goes from inside to outside, around, straight down, and through my first and middle finger. And grip, hang down, it is tight. It will not move. It is locked in between these fingers. This other one sometimes is more difficult because I have to do it with one hand, but if I have a partner helping me, or I'm used to it, it's not an issue. Grab it, give it a couple of good twists. You're gonna have to work it to get it through the first and second finger. Get it into position, get someone to pull it tight for you, real tight, and it's not going to move. The harder you squeeze your hand, the harder it's going to lock in. You step in for the lift, pop the hips, and it locks. Well guys, in a nutshell, that is the car deadlift. Like I said, it's great to train it 3 different times at least, for a contest. Once just to get used to it. Second, to go back and kind of beat that, set some PRs, and the third time just for some technique work. Don't stress about how you have to train with a car deadlift to get good at a deadlift. Don't stress if you don't have one. Go somewhere and find someone who does. Go train with one, or just get stronger. It is beneficial just to to have the understanding and the feeling of what it's like to do a car deadlift. The pressure puts on you, and telling yourself that you can do it, and being able to put yourself mentally and physically to a place that you're obviously not comfortable, and kind of going out in no man's land, which is something that you really have to do with a car deadlift. So get in there, get some practice done, send me some videos, let me know how it goes.